Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to Daytona International Speedway as we're starting off Speed Weeks with the annual Clash here at Daytona, the Advanced Auto Parts Clash, for the first race of the final season of 2024, the PCS Ray Monster Energy Series. On the left side of your screen is the starting lineup based off the results from qualifying yesterday. So Mackenzie Thompson starts on the pole, Jacob Tutu alongside, and the rest of your grid after that as the cars are going to roll off behind the pace car as we're getting ready for what will be a fun race. Of course, this is going to be two segments these drivers are going to run here today. The first segment will be 20 laps, and then we will throw the red flag out for drivers to get some adjustments made on these race cars. So I can tell you 20 laps are going to be slicing and dicing. And then wherever they finish in the official finish results will be the lineup for segment number dos in this clash. As I forgot to turn off the volume on my phone. So, oops, it's fine. I'm watching Martha Stewart Apprentice as of this recording. So. These 24 drivers have one thing in common, just to try to find victory lane to start off the season here for the Advanced Auto Parts Clash. Of course, we had Christmas 500 qualifying already took place here today. So this will be our first green flag we are having this weekend. And of course, tomorrow night will be the Christmas 500 you will see here on the PCS Radio Network. We're going to start it at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so hope you will be with us for that. Segment 1, 20 laps. Segment 2, 50 laps. And of course, like I said, wherever these drivers finish in the official finisher results, that will be their grid you will see for the segment 2. But here we go. The Advanced Auto Parts Clash is green here at Daytona. As the cars are starting to get up the speed down the back straightaway here for the first time of this segment. 20 laps, as I said, in segment 1, 50 laps in segment 2. That is a total of 70 laps on tap for you all here today for the Clash. As Marty Stevens going to go up to second, Mackenzie Thompson will lead the first lap of today's race. Do want to apologize for this race recording that I'm doing right now getting a little bit longer than or delayed later than planned. I was trying to put the grid together numerous times for this race and the Christmas 500, and NR293 decided to be a derping hyena and decided to screw me over, so I lost about a good 30 minutes, but no worry. Mackenzie Thompson, currently the race leader. Here comes Danny Rant in the 06 onto the inside. Defending series champ Jacob Tutu still up on that high side as we have completed 2 laps on the board and working on lap number 3 of this 20-lap race. And now here comes our first lead change. Danny Rant going to go to the race lead on Mackenzie Thompson. And that will put the Pepsi Max Chevrolet into the lead of the race. but barely shuts the door on Annie Thomas running the Wilson Security colors this week. This will be the same car she's going to run for the Daytona 500 weekend, so hooray. Annie Thomas last season drove a Hyundai Sonata. Did finally end her losing drought, her winless drought, that is, but didn't make it into the playoffs due to the fact she was so far down in points. Her victories did not count towards a spot into the playoffs. Our 2015 series champ. Leela Bakai going to go to the inside in that number 35 Horton. Is it Horton or is it Norton? I think it's Norton. Yeah, it's the Norton Camry. Couple of drivers working their way from the back to the front, as we're going to see them on that inside line. Alexandria Van Dam in the 02, sorry. I almost said the 20 for no reason. This is the pretty good to see these drivers back up and going. I'll try to have a timestamp of the segments down in the description. Of course, this is a non-points event, as Betty Barrett and Annie Einstein, who had to start at the back on the final row of the grid, even though Betty Barrett was going to, had to be, of course, Betty Barrett started 23rd, Annie Einstein 24th. Of course, one thing I was corrected by the officials was that Betty Barrett had to start the rear of the field in the clash, regardless where she qualifies, which, in my honest opinion, didn't make a difference because, well, Betty Barrett qualified 23rd out of 24th, so I cannot send her all the way further back. So there you go. Here comes Emmy Lipson in the 92 machine, so Betty Barrett will not have to go to the rear of the field for the dual races coming up later this week here in Speed Weeks. But there's going to be a hungry pack of drivers that are going to be taking notes of this clash. And getting themselves prepared for Daytona 500 qualifying tomorrow. And of course, Courtney Lynn just got out of Christmas 500 qualifying, so she's already been the only driver that's been on track out of the 24 drivers, which was same qualifying. So I don't see Courtney Lynn having any issues in terms of track time is concerned. Of course, they were in similar condition, or they were in different conditions than how they qualified here yesterday. The Christmas 500. They're going to be in different conditions than they qualified today. And for these drivers in this race, they're in different conditions than they were in. I think they had the same conditions as yesterday, sunny skies. Emmy Lipson leads this race as we're nearing the halfway point of segment 1. 10 of 20 for this segment, 10 of 70 that these drivers are doing today. Of course, I'm not doing 70 straight laps. Let's get that right. I think these drivers are just trying to take it easy. Because, hello, they are the brightest superstars in the world. I bet everybody in the Christmas 500 drivers tomorrow that are watching this race right here, as well as the drivers in the Monster Energy Series, what have they learned from this race they saw today that they'll apply for tomorrow's 24 laps you will see tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time? Of course, the catch is it will be at night versus these drivers that are running in daytime conditions. And you know, Courtney Lynn will be thinking about that tonight, or tomorrow night, excuse me. As Dora Marquez leads a lap here. And like I said, wherever these drivers finish in the results of segment 1, that's where they're going to line up for the restart for segment number 2. I mean, these drivers will definitely make it on fuel as far as segment 1 is concerned. It's not going to be a big deal. Because they'll come to their pits, make some adjustments, and then we'll get ready for the second half of this clash. Of course, all of the drivers in the Christmas 500 are already in street clothes, of course, with the exception of Courtney Lynn, who is, there she is right there in the 5, the Liberty University car. I think Nathan Orman's a little surprised seeing her in the 5 car, to be fair with you, because normally when you see Courtney Lynn on this mod, the BR15, you're used to seeing her in the 24 or in the Mountain Dew Blue number 9 that she was in 2021. So it's kind of weird seeing her in a Liberty University car. But to be fair, it's under the same team. So it's like, what difference does it make if it's not the same ride? And of course, Brenda Eveling, who is not in this field, yeah. Of course, she is also watching Courtney Lynn as well. And you will see Brenda Eveling as well as the other drivers in the Monster Energy Series that are not on track. You will see them tomorrow as we're going to bring you coverage of Daytona 500 pole qualifying to see who will start on the front row for the Great American Race. Of course, these drivers are racing on Christmas Eve, believe it or not. Of course, these drivers will go to bed tonight, get ready to wake up, come on track for Daytona 500 pole qualifying that you will see. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Christmas afternoon. Then we will have the Christmas 500 here at Daytona at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, as I mentioned. And then it will be a long break for these drivers because the next time these drivers will be on track, of course, they won't be on track during the rest of the winter break. Next time they will be on track will be January 2nd, as we will bring you the Gatorade, or what is it called? It's going to be the duels. January 2nd will be the duels. it will be what's now called the blue-green vacation duels at Daytona. Of course, that's the duel names are going to go by, the blue-green vacations duels at Daytona, even though I still prefer the Gatorade Twin 125s. Right now, it's a Mercedes 1-2 with Marty Stevens pushing his teammate Riley Anderson. That's strange you hear me say the words Marty Stevens and Riley Anderson as teammates in this series. I also like to point out that this is also the first race since the PCSRA PSR LA merger, believe it or not. Lisa Gonzalez going to be passing Marty Stevens as we're coming to 2 laps to go here in segment 1. So nothing happening in the first 20 laps, it seems like, unless I jinx it. And as I said, wherever these drivers finish in segment 1, that will be the starting grid for segment 2 of this race. Or segment 1 will be laps 1 through 20. Segment 2, when you see 50 laps down here at the bottom, will be laps 21 to 70. As we're coming to the final lap of segment 1. And of course, these drivers will have a caution that will come out and end segment number 1. As we're now on the last lap of segment 1, and unless Riley Anderson gets passed by Abigail Furling, she will win segment 1 and start on the pole for segment 2 of this race, which I will make sure to take a picture and save the results as the field's going into 3 and 4. And the caution is out as the drivers are racing back to the line. It's the competition yellow. So here comes the drag race to the line between Riley Anderson and Abigail Furling. Give it to Riley Anderson by a splitter. She will be the leader as the caution is out. So Riley Anderson and Abigail Furling will start on the front row for segment number 2. As you look at the results of segment number 1, this is not the official results, just pointing that out. So Riley Anderson will start on the pole. Abigail Furling, Max Lipson, Leela Mackay will make up row number 2. Ish Taylor is going to have some work to do to try to make some adjustments on his Audi. So don't go anywhere, folks. On the other side of the break, we'll bring you segment 2 as the field are going to come to pit road to make some adjustments. You're watching the BCS Ray on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Welcome back to the Blue Hedgehogs TV's coverage of the 2023-24 Advanced Auto Parts Clash. As the cars just got the one to go signal not too long ago, and we're getting ready for the final segment of today's clash. We have 50 laps on the board. This is laps 21 through 70. All these drivers just made 4-tire pit stops, put Sunoco race fuel, and they're ready to get this race back underway. Of course, cloud cover has climbed aboard. That has made this race very interesting. And we're back to green here at Daytona. These drivers did a good chance to debrief with their crew chiefs under the uh, caution / red flag, because like I said, we were in the middle of segment 2. Now, the thing these drivers are going to have to learn as we're coming to the end of this race, these drivers will have to make a pit stop in this segment. The first 20 laps of this race, they did not have to make a pit stop because, well, they made it 20 laps on fuel. The catch is, however, how far will they try to go? Because they can only go 37 laps on one tank of fuel. As Annie Einstein, who had to start last, is already up to second in this here in the early going of segment number 2. Ooh, Riley Anderson had to throw the block on the AMW Mitsubishi. That was really a close call because Annie Einstein's in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich. Got Stevens and Anderson. There's Daniel Voiles in the 26. By the way, I'm Sonic the Blue Hedgehog, if I forgot to tell you all in the introduction. Because the clone that used to be up here, Daniel Voiles, is right there in the 26. So I'm Sonic the Blue Hedgehog. So that's why I changed my name to Sonic the Blue Hedgehog for this race and this race only. Daniel Voiles will be back up here in the booth tonight for the Christmas 500 race. Or tomorrow night, rather. Daniel Voiles has a very fast Mercedes-Benz. Of course, qualified 20th yesterday. He's already up to second. Of course, he ran mostly at the back for the most part of the first part of the race. Started coming to the front towards the end of segment 1. Annie Einstein has finally taken the race lead on Riley Anderson, so that's good. Danny Rant coming up there in third. And there's Josephine Bouvier driving for Crenshaw's team, Annie Crenshaw's team that's starting up this year. I noticed a car way up high. I think that is our pole sitter, Mackenzie Thompson. Yes, it was. Apparently, she was way up the racetrack and in danger of losing the draft to Lisa Gonzalez. But like I said, remember, this is 50 laps here in this segment. So hopefully Mackenzie Thompson can keep up with the leaders. Ooh, Annie Thomas way up the racetrack. Looked like her car got a little bit tight there. She nearly touched that, got up in the outside retaining wall. I do want to check something if the Winston logos are still up. I think they are. As I went to the wrong settings. Let's actually check from the helicopter view. If you didn't notice, Daytona got a makeover with all the Winston Cup logos I've been plastering all over the infield. Let's go on board of Alexandria Van Dam. You'll see it to the left of the screen. Coming off of turn 4. Yep, got the Winston Cup logos on there. That was, by the way, the one major change I've done to Daytona versus the last time you saw a race on this channel is I replaced all the NASCAR Racing Cup Series logos and replace them with the Winston Cup logos. Some tracks already have the Winston Cup logos, some tracks do not, which I'm still in the process of doing that. I still got some tracks that still need to get replace the NASCAR Racing Cup logo with the Winston Cup logo. So I know Rockingham is one of them, as Annie Thomas has fallen to last. Apparently, that little draft that she had going up near the wall earlier in the segment looks like might come back to haunt her. She does not want to lose the draft. I think she's trying to get up to the draft. Let's go on board the Wilson Security Toyota. And looks like she's in danger of losing the draft if she doesn't stay up there with Annie Einstein, but here she comes. And last time I did a race at Daytona, which was back in 2021. I know you didn't see the race. It was when I did the race with or was it 2021 or 2022? I think it was 2021. Yeah. It was 2021 because Lisa Gonzalez, who's in this event, there she is in the 08, apparently had an engine problem, was so dreadfully slow, and then she got caught up in the first incident with Kevin Joseph. There's Courtney Lynn, as we're on lap number 30 of 70, lap 10 of 50, for anyone keeping track at home. Here comes Courtney Lynn. Courtney Lynn restarted in the 20th position after she was, let's see, where did she start? She started 9th, restarted in 20th after we went back to green. So she kind of faded a little bit, probably her car not handling good, and something going on with Abigail Furling? Or am I just seeing things? I wonder if the car is a little bit loose or something like that on Abigail. Knowing the 3-time series champion, trying to hang on for dear life. Annie Thomas trying to hang on to the draft of the AC Delco Chevrolet. And as soon as Courtney Lynn just had the lead, she lost it to Leela Bakai, who's about to lose it to Leo Einstein. Bakai does lead that lap, but Einstein, Leo that is, will have the preferred line going into turn number 1. We'll be nearing the halfway point in the next 3 laps. If you're doing the math in your head. Leo Einstein, Betty Barrett. Barrett is a former Daytona 500 winner. Maybe the driver we need to keep our eyes on coming Daytona 500 day coming up in January. Because that's when I normally do the Daytona 500 is in January, so there's no conflict with the NASCAR schedule, if you know what I mean. And of course, we're also avoiding conflict with the PSR LA. Of course, their Clash slash Derby is February 10th, so I'm spilling my Coke Zero all over myself. Max Lipson. Bet you Max Lipson's excited to be back in this series. There's Sally Foster. Of course, Nick Foster not returning anymore. Of course, Nick Foster is now going to be watching his sister race. There's Riley Anderson. We're coming to complete the halfway lap, lap 35 of 70. And we'll have 35 laps of racing to go, so we're halfway through the Advanced Auto Parts Clash. Even though this segment says lap 16, it's lap 36, so there you go. Remember, these drivers did not climb out of their cars. They came to pit road where the crews put 4 tires in fuel, sent them back out on their merry little way. And we got set for segment number 2. Do you want to wish everybody in the PSR LA good luck this upcoming season for 2024? I do want to point out for anyone, and I'll probably do this for Hergel's sake, I will have the link for the PSR LA so I can just contribute for Hergel. And if Hergel's okay with this, then that's fine. If you want to join the PSR LA, the link will be down in the description. And if you want to join the PCS Arrays new Discord server, the link to that one is also going to be down in the description. Let me do some math in my head. Of course, this race is 70 laps. No, wait. I screwed up. Hold on. 175 miles these drivers are racing. Of course, like I said, they ran 20 laps at segment 1. And they're running the 50 laps here in this segment. And we'll be coming up to lap 40 fairly soon. So I expect pit stops coming up fairly soon for these drivers. Right as we get towards the end of this race. Boy, if somebody tries to risk it, then it's not going to be a good thing, as Annie Einstein's back to the lead of the race. Imagine Annie Einstein winning the first ever Clash. Funny thing is, Annie Einstein won the first ever Clash because she won the final ever Clash. Wouldn't that be ironic? Of course, Crystal Fontaine's won a Clash race before here at Daytona. And who's the defending winner of this Clash race, you're asking? The 70, Quincy Einstein. He actually won it back in 2018. Which, by the way, I still have that Clash race up if you guys want to go see that race. Of course, that was the race when Daniel Voiles was in it, even though me, Sonic the Blue Hedgehog, called that race, and I put my clone in the car, which you get the point. And of course, I think it was, 40 laps, I think it was? I'll have to look. I think it was. I could be wrong, but I think it was. Because, of course, we didn't do... Of course, that was when we were waiting on signups, and I thought to myself, let's just go ahead and do the Clash while we're waiting for signups. And I was like, okay. So... Because I know we have former winners of the 500. Can't believe this will be our 14th and final Daytona 500. Of course, we've ran more 500s than... I don't think we've run more 500s than... I'm trying to think of another in our league who's run more Daytona 500s. I want to say the NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series. Because I think they're on like 16th or 17th. We're on 14th. Which is impressive. That also reminds me, I need to get TeamSpeak on here. So if anybody wants to do co-commentary with me with all of these drivers and all that, I can show them the entry list and shit like that. And also, I will point this out. If anybody wants to add me on TeamSpeak, once I download it, I will put my TeamSpeak name down in the description. So that was something I needed to do before. Once I got NR Gen 3, and I forgot to do that. So there's Jacob Tutu starting on the outside of the front row for this race. Right now, he is second place, the defending series champion. One of 5 drivers that are former champions in this series in the field. Of course, Annie Thomas, the 2015 series champ. June Einstein, the 2-time series champ from 2010, 2011. Annie Einstein, 2012, 2013, and 2014. Thomas, I mentioned 2015. 2017, 18, and 19. Or, I'm sorry, 2017 never got completed. 18, 19, and 20 was Abigail Furling. Orman won the championship in 2021. Rebecca Hawkins 2022, and Jacob Tutu, as I said, the most recent Monster Energy Series champions. We're getting closer to the end of this race, and drivers are going to have to start thinking about when they're going to come to pit road. As Dean DeVoyle's in the Yu-Gi-Oh colors. This is a different paint scheme. Of course, Dean DeVoyle's did run a Yu-Gi-Oh paint scheme. The catch was it was a pink car, which a lot of people called it like really gay and all that. This is an absolutely nicer colors. The red, white, and blue on the 26. And of course, you notice the Mercedes has a different nose. I'm going to show you on the rear chase. The nose right here is different. The headlights are different. So that's something different about the new Mercedes AMG C63. That is what the chassis is, or what the manufacturer is. The new AMG 63 has been one of the most talked about cars. We didn't know what to expect. Of course, Dean DeVoyle's not running the full schedule for 2024. He is sharing the car with Vanellope von Schweetz, who's running a Hyundai Sonata. Of course, Schweetz is going to run majority of the races. Whoa, Quincy Einstein, what are you doing there, son? I think Quincy was trying to get to the bottom, but his car was like loosey-goosey. As Van Dam, is leading the race. But back to Daniel Voiles in the 26. He is not running the full schedule, as I said, due to his commitments in the ASCC. Let's check up on Annie Thomas. There she is. Should point out about Annie Thomas here. Annie Thomas is rumored to not be running the full season either. And I know there's going to be a lot of you are thinking, wait a minute, what do you mean she's not running the full season? She's the 2015 Series champion, Voiles. Yes, she is the 2015 Series champion. There's one thing that you all should know about Annie Thomas. And I've said this on the channel time and time again. She still has not run her TM Master Cup Series races. For, interestingly enough, her team boss, Daniel Voiles, right there in the 26. Of course, Daniel Voiles has also been trying to make his TM Master Cup Series debut. They failed to qualify at Cariala. And they would like to make sure they do not go 0 for 2. As Van Dam leads, we're going to be coming up to 20 laps to go, and these drivers have not made their pit stops yet, which hopefully they will eventually. Betty Johnson, the 83 machine. There's a 91 of Sally Foster. Sally Foster has had a tough year so far. Had a tough year last season. Trying to find somehow, some way to turn her career around. Of course, remember, she has been in this series a lot longer than anybody else besides Barrett, Tutu, Turner. You will see Timmy Turner in Daytona 500 qualifying. All 4 Einsteins. And I'm trying to remember who are the others. I know Lipson has been in the series since the very beginning, so and also Dora Marquez too. And I believe this is the sign of pit stops, I believe, because I see the 02 coming to pit road. Okay, be careful. Oh, Bouvier from the middle lane coming to pit road. That was kind of a little dicey there, sweetheart. That held up this group right here, and that's going to really hurt them as far as speed. That really just broke up the pack because we only have 11 cars in this lead pack. And remember I said they can only go 37 laps on the tank of fuel because remember, they're using the 2003 rules package for the super speedways, which will make fuel mileage very interesting. I wonder who else is going to come to pit road. Max Lipson. Going to come. Oh, contact there between the 91 and the 23. Does the 23 have damage? No, she doesn't. She's going to lose a lot of time, though, however. And Annie Thomas has been swallowed up by Annie Einstein. June Einstein got away a bit. And that left a 3-car draft as a result. But like I said, these drivers have to pit. That's the problem with these drivers is trying to get on the pit road. You're trying to go from like 190-something miles an hour, trying to get it down to 55. I can't believe we didn't have a wreck somehow, some way. Here comes everybody else coming to pit road. Annie Einstein and Annie Thomas going to stay out. Let's check back here. Don't want to have any collisions. As Annie Einstein, Annie Thomas, the Annie and Annie show, did not come to pit road. They'll probably come next time by. As they're getting lower and lower on fuel. They'll be the last two cars that will come to pit road. And are they going to come to pit road? Yep, they're coming to pit road. So nobody playing a risk of coming on the pit road or taking a risk of fuel. But let's see where the first group of cars. There's the 02. That's Van Dam, as she's going to get reeled in by Riley Anderson, Josephine Bouvier and company. Okay, let's make sure we do not cause a wreck here, guys and gals. Some cars trying to get up on pit road. Remember, they have to stay right next to the yellow line until they get off of turn number 4. Remember, that yellow line is out of bounds. These cars cannot go below the yellow line to advance their position. Dora Marquez there. There goes Annie Einstein and Annie Thomas coming out of the pit lane. And Emmy Lipson had just passed Courtney Lynn, so this is for the lead of the race. Wonder if Annie Thomas ended up locking the tires up, and they had to change 4 tires. If that's the case, then there's your answer. Is Annie Einstein going to lose a lot of time as a result? Thomas, ditto for her. And she's trying to get caught up. Is there anybody that's going to get her caught up? You know, it looks like the 35 of them will reel in the Wilson Security Toyota. Now the pack's starting to get formed. As Courtney Lynn, Emmy Lipson are the leaders, but I can tell you, Dora Marquez is by herself. She's going to get reeled in by this pack led by Josephine Bouvier in the 9. Fastest lap is Troy King, 45.266. 45.559 for Van Dam. That's 3/10 right there between the field, so not too bad. And it's Annie Einstein all by herself, but we'll have Quincy Einstein to get her caught up. Annie Thomas has already been caught by Leela Bakai. Now they can start trying to chase down this lead pack. Dora Marquez has been caught by Mackenzie Thompson. Marty Stevens, do not go below the yellow line there, bud. And that gap that they had is 2 seconds. However, that's going to get slowly evaporating. Riley Anderson is on the tail end of this group. And here comes this next group led by Danny Rant and company. 2.5 second gap from Mackenzie Thompson to the race leader, which that will probably get evaporated real quickly. See, Daniel Voiles in the 26. He's about to lose the draft here. So Daniel Voiles had whatever issue happened on his pit stop. He's going to lose this group right here, and he's going to be all alone unless he can try to stay in this slipstream with Lisa Gonzalez. Let's go on board the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mercedes. And he's trying to stay up there. I mean, he's catching the draft on the 70. And when you get right up to a slipstream, that's going to suck your car right up there. And now Daniel Voiles all caught up and was worried about him losing the draft, but apparently he won't lose the draft anytime soon. Courtney Lynn still right behind Emmy Lipson. That gap is now down to under 2 seconds. Ooh, June Einstein really loose. Nearly got into Riley Anderson there. Somehow, some way, they keep it together, and we're still green flag racing as a result. Like, Dino Voil's not going to have a good finish, but to be fair, this is a non-points event. And look how quickly 2 seconds is going to evaporate real quickly. As Bouvier has caught Courtney Lynn and Emmy Lipson. Betty Johnson trying to stay up here in this lead pack. As we have a 12-car lead pack. And here's the second pack led by Lila Bakai. Looks like Leo Einstein about to lose the draft. That's not good for Leo. Of course, Leo trying to do what Dino Voiles did, as we're going to go on board the Jack-in-the-Box car. And it's not working for Leo Einstein, so unfortunately he's going to lose the draft, so that's a bit of a shame. And of course, the problem is when you lose the draft, you're going to be about 4 seconds slower than the leaders. And Bouvier has now taken the race lead as a result. Yep, Leo Einstein is definitely going to be out of contention of winning this race. That's for darn sure. So that's a shame for Leo. And yep, he has lost the draft. That's too bad. As Betty Johnson is still in the second pack. Here's the, or in that lead pack. Here's the second pack led by Quincy Einstein. The lead pack's coming off of turn 4. The other pack's in 3 at turn 3, so they have a turn lead. As like I said, we're coming towards the end of this clash race. The lights have come on, by the way, for here at Daytona as we're losing daylight here. Been a long day of action here at Daytona. Can't wait for the Christmas race tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you will be with us for that. Also want to remind everyone this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the account's description of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association is strictly prohibited. PCS Ray want to thank you fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast as usual. As Mackenzie Thompson has now taken second place from Riley Anderson, as by the way, we're coming to 5 laps of racing to go here at Daytona. 4 laps to go next time by. Don't think Leo Einstein's going to be a factor. Yeah, he has lost the pack. He's like 15 seconds behind, so he's out of contention. That second pack's already out of contention, so it's basically these drivers in this lead pack that's still in contention. Josephine Bouvier trying to become the first and only French driver who would win the Clash. Here comes Dora Marquez. Here comes Emmy Lipson. Mackenzie Thompson's going to be all by herself because all of the guys and gals on the inside line are just freight training her, which is not good. 3 to go here in the Clash. By the way, we have not had a caution in this race with the exception of the stage break between segments 1 and 2. If you exclude that, we've ran 70 laps caution free, even though we had a caution for the stage break. Is anybody going to challenge the Rockstar Energy Golden Corral Ford Fusion out of Crenshaw Motorsports? How would it be for Annie Crenshaw to do something that has never been done on this channel? Become the youngest team owner to win a PCS rate event. Oh, one more thing. She's a teenager still, for crying out loud. Would be nice if Bouvier can deliver a great gift for Annie Crenshaw before her 19th birthday. Which, by the way, Annie Crenshaw is the youngest team owner in the Monster Energy Series history at the age of, as I said, 18. This time last year, she was a teenager finishing up her senior year of high school. As the white flag is out, one more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Does anyone have anything for the 9? If they're going to make their move, they better make it now. Down the back straightaway for the last time. Here comes that's Van Dam, excuse me. And I believe that might have just done it right there, boys and girls. Well, Annie Crenshaw, you're going to have a party because off at turn 4 for the first time ever in her Monster Energy career, Josephine Bouvier takes the Advanced Auto Parts Clash here today at Daytona and gives Annie Crenshaw a win right out of the gate. And now Annie Crenshaw is proving to all the team owners that she is a force to be reckoned with. Standings are not yet official, but the top 10 are official. Josephine Bouvier, the winner. Van Dam will get second. Emmy Lipson third. Mackenzie Thompson fourth, as the standings are now official. June Einstein fifth. Dora Marquez, Betty Johnson, Sally Foster, Marty Stevens, and Max Lipson complete the top 10. Look on down through the rest of the results. A couple of drivers who tried to gamble on staying out later came back to haunt them. Annie Einstein 17th, Annie Thomas 20th were the ones that came in later than mostly everybody. Unfortunately, they never recovered. And Leo Einstein 30 seconds back of the leaders. But the good news for him as well as everybody else who didn't have a good run is this was a 9 points event. So hooray. That's going to do it from here at Daytona International Speedway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Clash race here at Daytona. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Record today. We'll see you tomorrow for the Christmas 500 race. Until then, I've been the Blue Hedgehog signing out as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of PCS Ray TV, the best at racing around the world since 2017.